Guess what? I am at my goal weight. I am at my goal weight. La 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 la. I am so excited.
Congratulations. But now that you're at goal, what's the plan now?
What do you mean? The goal was to get to goal weight. There's no plan now.
But you need a plan for how you will do maintenance.
Well, maintenance means you eat like a normal person. So I'll just eat like how I normally did before the diet. Diet, lose weight. Maintenance, eat like a normal person, right?
But isn't this eating like a normal person what got you in the situation in the first place?
Okay.
Yo-yo and hello, my name is Lydia, and on today's episode of my 25-pound yo-yo, we will be talking about why we gain it back. Now, I like to think I know a little something about every single video that I make, but honestly, I'm pretty much a damn expert at this subject. I don't know how many times I have gained the weight back. I mean, if I wasn't so good at gaining the weight back, I would be calling this channel my 25-pound yo, now wouldn't I? Anyways, so I would like to go through all of the deep mental thoughts that I've had recently about why is it that I can't keep the weight off. There are several things that I have done in the past while I'm dieting, and especially towards the end of my diets, that really trigger what I'm setting myself up for in the future. So I've made a list of all the things that I have done that prevent me from keeping the weight off, and I hope you enjoy. So let's watch this next clip and then we'll come back here and discuss. Why we gain it back. Congratulations, you've lost weight. But how can you avoid being like 95% of the population and gain it all back? Let's explore some common pitfalls that cause us to regain the weight after we were successful in taking it off. You didn't plan for maintenance. During weight loss, you needed to create a calorie deficit. But during maintenance, you need to balance your calories. Calories in need to equal calories out. So yes, you still need to plan what you will eat and how you will exercise. I know, it's tempting to just wing it. But really, how did that go when you first tried to lose weight? You need a plan. As Benjamin Franklin once said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You love the new body, but have not embraced the new life that is required to keep it. You looked at the diet as short-term. This is similar to brides that put all their energy into planning their wedding, but no energy into planning their marriage, and then wonder why they fail afterwards. You stopped stepping on the scale. The scale helped you achieve your goals. It helped you monitor your progress and make adjustments when needed. But now, you are afraid of it. You still need it for maintenance, and it can be your friend. It doesn't have to be every day, but you should check in at least 1 to 2 times per week to ensure that you are still where you want to be. And if you're not, well, it won't be that difficult to take off a pound or 2. You lost weight eating foods you do not like. No, this is not an excuse to go out and eat a big pile of junk food. But if you want to maintain your physique, you need to learn how to make delicious low-calorie food, the type of food you can eat for the rest of your life. In tempting situations, you relied solely on willpower. And at the time, it worked. But over time, willpower fades and it's easy to revert to old behaviors. You need coping strategies. If social situations stress you out, you need a plan as to how to move forward. If you get stressed out when you see a big buffet full of food, start with a plate of veggies. Then you will be too full to overeat the other high-calorie food. It's all about having a strategy. You are back with the old gang and have forgotten all about your fit allies. Community support is important. It helps keep you on track. This can be in the form of online forums, internet friends, and real-life people too. But if you spend most of your time with fellow eaters, it is way too easy to get back into that lifestyle too. Even if you are not eating junk food, your calorie needs are now lower. Bigger you definitely required more calories for maintenance than smaller you. If you eat the calories of bigger you, you will eventually become her. You picked the exercises that burn the most calories to lose weight rather than the ones you actually like. Sustainability is key here. Do the activities you like and you are likely to do them. Yes, HIIT burns more than going for a leisurely bike ride. But the bike ride burns more than sitting on your ass, which is exactly what you're going to do when you don't feel like exercising. Plus, if you truly enjoy the activity you are likely to do, you'll probably do it longer and thus make up the difference in calorie burn. If your maintenance diet calories require you to restrict so drastically that there is no flexibility, that is not going to work. You should be able to enjoy an indulgence from time to time. If you gain 5 pounds, you might find that the calorie requirement gives you enough wiggle room to have some food freedom while still staying healthy and looking great. I know, it's not ideal gaining weight after putting in so much effort to lose it, but if you are miserable in your maintenance diet, you are likely to crack and gain way more than just 5 pounds. You lost your weight doing stupid things. Many of us, me included, have over-restricted our calories and amped up our activity to try to speed up weight loss. This in particular happens at the end of the diet when we're trying to get those last 10 vanity pounds. We do things and tell ourselves, I will just fix it later. After I take the weight off, I will stop all this under-eating and over-exercising. But it's not so easy. Once you reach your goal, you will be so hungry and so tired, it will actually trigger a binge. If you just stay on plan and don't over-restrict, you'll probably still reach your goal, just at a slower rate, and also not be as crazy at the end and actually be able to do maintenance. If you lost your weight with a lot of cardio, chances are you also lost a bit of muscle. Muscle mass increases your BMR, which are the daily calories you need just to exist without moving. If you were to change your body fat percentage from 30 to 23 and not actually change your weight, your BMR might give you an extra 100 calories a day. You also may not be moving enough. Remember, most of your daily calorie burn is not exercise. It's just general movement. So, walk the dog, dance in the kitchen, do some chores, even watch TV while standing. Just get off your butt and move more. It will make a difference.
So obviously I have a very close personal connection with every single item on that list. But I would like to take a moment to zero in on a few of them and explain a little bit more of my personal history with them. Now, the first one is that I often view my diets as being short-term. I look at them like they're a race, and I get really, really zoned in. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I'm going to do it, and I work really, really, really hard, and when I cross the finish line, I want to celebrate. I'm happy. I'm super proud of myself. The problem is that the race I'm running is actually a marathon, but I am celebrating after running 2 kilometers. I have to think of the race as my life. I'm not just losing weight for the short term. I'm having to lose it and keep it off. I have to finish the race. But what happens is after 2 kilometers, I'm so excited that I lost the weight that I start to gain the weight back. And that's stepping backwards to the start line. And then I have to start all over again. And then sometimes I don't do 2, I do 3, or I do 4, or I do 5, I do 10. I get even farther, or I lose it and I keep it off for a little while. And I think, yeah, I got it this time. But no, I really don't, because eventually I start to step backwards and then I have to start the race all over again. The next item I'd like to talk about is eating food that you do not like while you're on your diet. Now, I started this very, very early, and in fact, my mom to this day refers to those foods as diet foods. And anytime we would start a diet, like, oh, better go shopping and get the diet food. But once the diet's over and you stop eating the diet food, you go back to eating the shit you were eating before. So of course you're not going to keep the weight off. Yes, when you're maintaining, you can add a little more food, and it's not the same as when you're trying to lose. You don't need to make that calorie deficit, but you're setting yourself up for a disaster if you're relying on diet foods to do the trick. Now I'm trying to eat better tasting, lower calorie food. Food that I actually like. Food that I don't go, ugh, it's diet food. It's a freaking salad. It's a freaking rice cake. No, I found some good options. I found like 0-calorie noodles, which are awesome because that means I can smother them with whatever sauce I like and not have to worry about the extra calories from the pasta. So I've learned to make some substitutions that are permanent substitutions, not just for the sake of the diet. The next one I'd like to touch on is the community support. Now, I find it really, really important that when you're losing weight, that you find a community, especially online, like using a forum of some sort, so that you can interact with other people that are also in the same process as you, as well as the same maintenance. Now, the weight loss apps, they're smart to this. And they know that as soon as you discontinue your membership with the program, you also lose access to their forums. So you lose that contact with other people that are struggling to lose or are in maintenance. You need that interaction to help motivate you. When those forums are gone, that support system is gone, it's very difficult to be self-motivated unless you have community around you. Now, that community around you is really difficult when those people are not into weight loss and not into fitness. Now, I remember one of the many weight loss ventures that I had. I think I was around 18 or 19, and my boyfriend and his family at the time, they were all overweight. And they didn't understand why on earth I wanted to lose weight. At the time, I was probably really close to 150 pounds. Remember, I'm only 5'4", so that's a lot of weight for someone my size. But because they were all so big, they always thought, like, oh, she must be just like 125 pounds. Why does she want to lose weight? Like, no, it's perspective. And once I did lose the weight and I went to visit his family, I always found it really difficult to eat and not be rude and not have their events interrupt my workout schedules. And they were very, very kind people, but they didn't have an understanding about why the health and fitness and weight loss was important to me. And plus, I had that whole hot in Cleveland kind of mentality because I was a supermodel in comparison to them. So even if I gained a little bit of weight, I was still way smaller than they were, and it was good for my ego, but it really wasn't good for my waistline. And over time, especially hanging out with them, I did gain the weight back. Another one that I also closely relate to is the stopping to use your scale. Now, once I am off a diet, I will still use my scale for the first little bit. But if I go out for dinner or if I know that I've been indulging in a few treats, I start to get scared of it because I don't want to know what the number is. In reality, I know that if I were to step on the scale, it might be up a few pounds, but it's likely a lot of water because I know that's 3,500 calories to a pound, and I likely didn't eat, 4 pounds extra of food on the weekend. So even if the scale goes up by 4 pounds, it's not real. But I'm still afraid of it. And that fear goes into a week of fear to 2 weeks of fear to a month of fear. And then, by then, maybe I have actually gained about 5 or 6 pounds. And by the time I step on the scale, it's like, okay, well, I guess I should do something. Now, when I say a month, that's a short period of time for me to avoid the scale. Often I will go several months, even a year, because I'm too afraid to face that number. But this time, I only went, I think, about 2 months without stepping on the scale. And yes, it went up, but I have been weighing myself regularly and trying to get it back down. I was pretty successful, but this time I stopped early. I stopped around 125 instead of shooting for 120. For me, it's those last 5 pounds that drive me crazy. Drives me into the doing stupid things. The doing stupid things are pretty extreme. I would go every day for a 10K run. And then I would do about a 45-minute HIIT workout. And then every evening I would go for another 10K walk. That's not like my week's worth of activity. I'm saying I did this every day while eating about 800 to 1,000 calories. Yes, that is insane. Nobody should do that. But this is what also drives the rebound, because those last 5 pounds, I'm working so hard. I just want to see the scale. I just want to see that picture of 120 pounds. And I've got like a screenshot of 119.9 pounds, and I was so happy. But you know what? I was that weight for a day. Maybe not even a day, probably like half a day. And then I gained it all back. So for me, sitting about 5 pounds higher has been a lot more sustainable. It has given me a little bit more flexibility. I don't overindulge every day, but I allow myself a treat probably once or twice a week, and I try to be cognizant about how much I'm eating without being too meticulous with every single calorie. When it comes to exercise, people often ask, what is the best exercise for weight loss? And I would ask that as well, and people will always say, it's the one that you'll do. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. But which one burns the most? And they'd say, okay, well, I'll tell you which one burns the most. And they'll go through their math and go, well, interval training, HIIT training, sprinting, anything that really elevates your heart rate. Yeah, those ones burn the most. So then I'd be like, okay, that's what I'm doing. So for me, running is always very, very high. So hence I started that whole running 10 kilometers a day, which is ridiculous. I still like to run. Don't get me wrong, I still like running, but I am not running 10 kilometers a day. But what I do enjoy is I enjoy walking. And I used to think, I can run. If I can run, why the heck am I going to walk? That seems kind of stupid now, doesn't it? But I enjoy walking. I enjoy putting on a good podcast or a good audiobook, and I just go outside, and I enjoy being outside. I don't even care if it's winter. I'll just bundle up and go outside and enjoy the walk. And what I've noticed is that I can just keep walking and keep walking and keep walking, and I am lost in a book or a podcast or music or nature and just looking around, and I don't even think about it as exercise. So now I can go outside for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, walking, enjoying myself, and I'll burn the same amount as I would running. Yes, I do have to go a lot longer. I do have to go a lot farther, but I enjoy it. So when I say, hey, I'm going for a walk, it's not like, okay, time to go for a walk. And that's how it felt when I was running every day. I had to motivate myself. And what would happen in these cycles is that if I was not motivated to do my exercise, well, then I would just go and flop on the bed or on the couch and watch TV and eat and go, I don't feel like doing it. But you know what? I don't really say I don't feel like going for a walk very often. It's easy for me to motivate myself to get out the door. Now, yes, there are some days I do not want to walk 12 kilometers. I do not want to be outside walking for an hour and a half or 2 hours. But half an hour, that's something. Some days it's half an hour to 45 minutes, but in general, most days, they're pretty long. I really do enjoy long walking, and I will never slag anyone for saying that walking is their form of exercise, because I have completely changed my mind on that one. And walking, for me, it's the way to go. So I've done a lot of self-reflection, obviously, to make this video. I really want the weight loss to stick this time. I've actually been maintaining my 125, not 120, but 125 pound weight for about a month and a half to 2 months. And things are going pretty well. I don't feel deprived. I'm eating, I won't say exactly what I want, because I do turn down food when I want it, but I know calorically it probably doesn't fit within how much I've eaten for the day. I'm not counting calories, but I am just being mindful, I guess, when I'm eating. I'm hoping that this video not only helps whoever watches it, but it also helps me, because it forced me to look at myself and say, Lyd, why do you keep gaining the weight back? And I'm hoping that I'll be able to stop the cycle. But just because I know how to stop the cycle doesn't mean that I will stop the cycle. But alas, this is my 25-pound yo-yo and not let's actually keep the weight off for good. So until next time, yo-yo and let's go.